At one point, Fredo was one of the most popping names in UK music. Come to 2025, we really haven't heard a lot of Fredo for a long time. And why is that? Well, today I'm going to go into that a bit further and explain what he's been doing in the time in his absence. So yeah, as you can see, 8 years ago, They Ain't 100, these sort of songs, these are the ones that really projected Fredo, put him on the map. Got songs like The Avenues, and then he dropped this project called Get Rich or Get Recalled, which was pretty successful. Change, 33 million views. Icaramba, 47 million views. And then of course in 2018 he collabed with Dave on Funky Friday, which was one of the biggest hits of that entire year. And then the last tune that he dropped was 8 months ago, when he just got fresh out of jail in Dubai, and he dropped a song called Top G. But as is the case with a lot of UK rappers, legal issues was a lot of the reason why Fredo's been on sort of a hiatus. Obviously he's been arrested a couple times before, but the main one was in Dubai last year, where January 2024 he was sentenced to 5 years in prison in Dubai for cannabis possession after being arrested in late 2023. Sentenced to 5 years, but of course he only did about 5 months in prison and then released that tune Top G. Of course, people who have been to Dubai or people who haven't been to Dubai will know that one thing that is a no-go in Dubai is drugs. You cannot do drugs, take drugs, import drugs into Dubai. It is a no-go. Fredo was caught with weed, of course was sentenced to 5 years, didn't do the 5 years, thank God. Because I want more music from the guy. But this was sort of the issue where Fredo disappeared from, and people hadn't really heard a lot since this time. But similar to Digga D, because of these legal issues and the sort of headlines Fredo was finding himself in, he was still staying relevant. He's still pretty relevant to this day, even though he hasn't really dropped music since his album Unfinished Business, which was in late 2023. And the weed possession thing in Dubai was sort of really just like a, oh, why did you do that shit? Because it's not like harmful. It's not sort of one of those things where, you know, you got a lot of these drill rappers committing really bad shit and you just think that's just stupid. This one is actually just stupid, and it's not really hurting anyone, it's not damaging anyone. But in Dubai, obviously weed is a no-go. You cannot have weed there, bro, unless you want to get fucking locked up. Don't take weed to Dubai. But prior to this, Fredo was getting pretty successful. He had a healthy share in Kick Game. Kick Game's revenue in 2021 over the last 12 months had grown from 2 million to 15 million, and Fredo had invested millions of pounds into Kick Game, as well as founding his clothing brand Parental Guidance, which we haven't heard too much about. But yeah, Kick Game's sort of been a massive success in the UK, obviously getting a lot of rappers onto the show, personalities onto the show. Even, you know, look at their channel, they got 1 million subscribers, and just looking at the views on their videos, bro, the success that these guys were getting is pretty big. They were sort of like the Complex of the UK. You know, Complex have got like the sneaker shopping. Kick Game had X goes shopping for sneakers. Basically a rip-off. It was clever because no one was really doing it in the UK, and the series on Complex is really only for the biggest artists, you know, and biggest people in the world. They've had people like Neymar and Cristiano Ronaldo. So having a platform like this in the UK was pretty clever, and obviously Kick Game have seen a lot of success. A lot of you who watch the videos aren't subscribed to the channel yet, so what are you doing? Make sure you help me out. Click the subscribe button below. So it seemed like Fredo's head was turned on. Like, yes, he's getting hella money from his music and he's investing it into something good. Now, while Kick Game's quite like an expensive store, you can see through the revenue that they were generating that they were doing pretty well for themselves. The store was growing. They had stores. I know they've got stores in London. They've got a store in Manchester. But in 2024, we only had a string of releases with a couple features. I think Top G may be the only song that he had by himself. Money Can't Buy Happiness. This is probably my favorite Fredo album. My question is, where has Fredo been? Where is the music now? And to answer that question, I do not know. I haven't seen anything on Instagram about new music. I haven't seen anything about him in the news. Realistically, I don't really give a shit about like the court cases and that. I just hope he beats them. Like, all I want is Fredo to beat the case and put out some new music, because Fredo has a sound that not really any upcoming UK rapper is replicating. There's a lot of upcoming UK rappers who are trying to sort of take the Dave flow and the Central C flow, or even like the underground sound, which is popping right now. But Fredo's got that one unique sound that Slim is probably the only artist in the UK who's really come in and taken Fredo's sound and made it successful, which is why people like me are waiting for the Fredo return, because there is no one making music like Fredo. There isn't like an equivalent to Fredo music which you can go out and listen to. You've got artists like Strands who have like that 2000s 50 Cent type beats and sort of like deep, like aggressive voice to their music, but Fredo's is still very unique, and there isn't isn't anyone really replicating that right now. And so I am waiting patiently to see when Fredo is going to drop next. If I had to make some sort of guess, I'd probably say that maybe something is happening in the background. I don't know if he's still in Dubai. I assume that he's probably maybe still in Dubai, hoping that someone in the comments can give me a bit more clearance on where he is. They were saying sort of like the case that was going on in Dubai, he can't leave, whatever it is. All I'm hoping, bro, is that Fredo just drops more music. That is all I want, is just Fredo to drop more music. Because Fredo is one of those artists that I mentioned that, again, doesn't really need to do too much marketing-wise, because audience very big. Fredo's one of the most followed rappers on Instagram in the UK. So when Fredo announces a new song or whatever it is that's coming back, people are going to be there to listen to it. So while nothing's been announced this year, I assume that Fredo is going to be back dropping music, hopefully sometime in the first 6 months of this year. As I said, lucky for him, he's got the privilege that fans are happy to wait for new music from him. But there are new artists coming through the ranks, and if someone similar to Fredo was to come through with a similar sound and take that audience, then who knows? But I think that Fredo will be fine not dropping music for the next couple of months. But when he comes back, I hope it's another album. I'm hoping he'll be able to get back to the UK and lock in on his music. But if you guys have any more input or intel on what is going on, make sure you let me know in the comments or on my Instagram in my DMs, and let me know, are you excited for a Fredo return? My advice for now would just be to wait patiently.